Imagine waking up one day to find your entire world turned upside down, with no job, no income, and no hope in sight. This was the harsh reality for millions during the Great Depression. The Great Depression, spanning from 1929 to 1939, was a severe global economic downturn that left no corner of the world untouched. It all began with a sharp decline in stock prices in the United States, the world's largest economy at the time. The economic contagion started around September 1929, leading to the infamous Wall Street stock market crash of October, known as Black Tuesday. This crisis marked the beginning of a prolonged period of economic hardship characterized by high unemployment rates and widespread business failures. Between 1929 and 1932, the worldwide gross domestic product, GDP, fell by an estimated 15%, a stark contrast to the less than 1% drop during the Great Recession of 2008 to 2009. Some economies began to recover by the mid-1930s, but for many, the negative effects of the Great Depression lingered until the onset of World War II. The impact was devastating, with personal incomes, prices, tax revenues, and profits all plummeting. International trade fell by more than 50%, and unemployment in the U.S. soared to 23%, with some countries experiencing rates as high as 33%. Cities around the world, especially those reliant on heavy industry, were severely affected, and construction virtually halted in many countries. Farming communities and rural areas suffered immensely as crop prices fell by about 60%, leaving farmers with few job alternatives. Economic historians often cite the Wall Street crash as the catalyst for the Great Depression, though some argue it was more a symptom of deeper economic issues. After the Wall Street crash, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped from 381 to 198 in just 2 months, yet optimism persisted for a while. The stock market briefly rose in early 1930, but by 1932, it had plummeted to a low of 41. Governments and businesses initially spent more in early 1930, but consumers, reeling from stock market losses, cut expenditures by 10%. A severe drought in the mid-1930s further ravaged the U.S. agricultural heartland, compounding the economic woes. Interest rates dropped to low levels by mid-1930, but expected deflation and reluctance to borrow kept consumer spending and investment low. By May 1930, automobile sales had declined below 1928 levels, and a deflationary spiral began in 1931. Farmers faced a dire outlook with declining crop prices and a Great Plains drought, leading to nearly 10% of all Great Plains farms changing hands. The U.S. economic decline initially pulled down other countries, with internal weaknesses or strengths exacerbating conditions. Protectionist policies like the 1930 U.S. Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act worsened the collapse in global trade, contributing to the Depression. By 1933, world trade had declined to 1/3 of its level compared to 4 years earlier. The gold standard played a significant role in spreading the global depression, forcing countries to adopt deflationary policies. Countries that abandoned the gold standard early experienced milder recessions and quicker recoveries. The financial crisis escalated in mid-1931 with the collapse of the Kreditanstalt in Vienna, putting heavy pressure on Germany. Germany's political turmoil and economic collapse led to the rise of Hitler's Nazi regime in January 1933. In Britain, the financial crisis caused a major political upheaval, leading to the formation of an all-party coalition government. Recovery from the Great Depression began in most countries by 1933, but the U.S. did not return to 1929 GNP levels for over a decade. Roosevelt's New Deal policies helped accelerate recovery, though some argue they were not aggressive enough to end the recession completely. The onset of World War II is widely believed to have ended the Great Depression, with massive government spending stimulating economies. The Great Depression left a lasting impact on global economies, reshaping policies and leading to significant political changes. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the stories of resilience and recovery that emerged from one of the darkest periods in modern history. Stay tuned.